Hello, hello. Welcome to my desk. Well, Prang watercolors. And I feel, as you can see, it's very well loved. Isn't that what people call it? Well, I feel that imagine if I could use up this palette right here, and it would make like a tiny dent in my humongous collection. So for some reason I was going to declutter some of my watercolors, you know, like put them up in range, like what do I paint less with, and then try and make a decision about should I don't know. I just learned from that I cannot part with any of my watercolors. Isn't it just freaking weird? Like I collect them or something. But the fun part about having a bunch of set is that I almost have a set that I have in mind for each time I want to make a project. Like oh, I should take my colors from Italy to get those really old school classic colors, or oh, it could be cool to use my Mei Pretty Excellent for something where I need like super bright colors and want to splash around and not carry about wasting, you could say, a lot of the paint in my rinsing jar because I need to paint fast. Or when I'm working on like big posters, I love to take out my Graham palette because I can get in my big brushes, the white ones, and do a lot of washes. So I like that I have this variety of all sorts of different pans. What I don't like is that I have a collection of these almost used palettes that I don't really grab for because I don't know why. So I was thinking I'm gonna put this out on my desk, and hopefully here in 2024 I will use it up so I can part with the packaging, and in that way have made some space in my little cabinet where I keep all my watercolors. Kind of like, without sounding like I am a minimalist with watercolors, but kind of like if I need to buy another pan, one pan have to leave. You know, like I don't want to have to move my collection. What the hell is that? What's so much blue under this? I don't want to find a new space to house all my watercolors. But, oh shoot, look. I got a puddle of blue right there. Oh my god, this is gonna be a disaster. I am so a frugal idiot, or maybe just love watercolor so much, I wouldn't even let that go to waste. It's like a paint sample down there. But let me get to the point. This might be a very boring video if you know all of these things, but maybe useful for someone who is not so familiar about color mixing. I have forgotten how these mix. It's been so long that I've been painting with them last. So I just wanted to share with you that little sitting that I have in a situation like that, where I need to get to know this palette one more time and refresh my memory about what it can do for me. So I cleaned them up, and then I decided to rearrange them. I think they're in a strange order, and I think I would prefer them to be in somewhat of a rainbow order. Okay, I can keep on cleaning this palette. Let me see. Oh my god, I should do this off camera. But but what is the plan here? The plan is to have it out on my desk and hopefully use it. So I think yellow would go here, orange, red, purple, blue, brown, and black. So what I would do is that I want to swatch them out first. And the way that I swatch them out is that I draw a shape where they're gonna be in, but the space in between are going to overlap. So I kind of make myself like a rainbow going through. So that's why it would be nice to have everything wetted so that the paper, you know, watercolors. So wetting the whole row make the pigments hopefully flow. And I seem to remember that they flow they're quite happy to flow. There is a floating agent in these Prang colors, and they call them, what was it that they called them when they sold them? Like moist, like they were like not creamy, but they're not gonna dry up like super hard. They're gonna re-wet very easily, which is true. So yeah, look, oh, it likes to travel. That's a cool thing. That's a good thing. And what I do here is, of course, I can make like a nice swatching chart if that's what you like to do. But I basically just want to make this visual rainbow and let them flow together. So it is a little bit of an unusual way to swatch, and it's gonna look like a mess, but it kind of tells me a lot about which pigments push. Look, can you see how that blue one pushes the purple? Oh, it really grabs onto the surface tension of the water, of the surface. Look how powerful it is. That's one of the things that you discover by swatching in this kind of style here. The brown is just almost laying there. Can you see how it barely wants to move? What a dead color. Look how dead it is. It's very dense. It's so opaque. It's almost like a gouache. Ooh, that's black. That's like really lamp black. It's nice. But also just lying there, not moving at all. What this tells me is that the orange is super weak, so is the red. Which is a shame. I wonder what kind of orange you will get if you mix the red just with the yellow. Ah, that's a really muddy yellow. The yellow is not a lemon yellow, and it's not a gamboge. It's like a muddy Hansa yellow, so it's not like such a clean color. That's odd, don't you think so? It's an odd orange to get. I'm putting the orange next to it. Let's see how bright we can get that orange. No, it's not the brightening up, which tells me that this yellow is muddying things. So that's what they mean when they say that some watercolors are muddying others. You can kind of tell, you know. Look, I'm laying down a stripe of orange next to it. You can kind of see that if you add a color to another and it pull it back into something not looking fresh and clean, then it's muddying. So that's what I learned from this. What I often would do would be like I'm very interested in the black color, like what can I get when I mix black into these colors here. And then it's also a little bit untraditional because most people, they would be like mixing other colors first, but just humor me with this one. Okay, I'm gonna grab some black, and it's very strong, super strong. And then I'm gonna start with the blue. And here I'm after, can I get something that looks like a paint spray? Oh, I got a cat that wants in. Hang on. Well, the way that I swatch out and test colors is by using this method where you actually create a bunch of stripes. I don't know if you can see here, I'm testing a Schminke half pan, 12 half pan set, where I just focus on the set that's in the colors that's in the set, and I did not do the burnt sienna for some reason. I take the crimson red and then I mix it with the Prussian blue and do it in step outs, just to see, you know, what kind of colors you can get, because as you can see here, it's just an example. The yellow and the Prussian blue will create green, but you can actually get all these variation of green by adding more and more blue into the yellow. So that's just giving you an idea of what I'm doing here. So what I do is I take the black and then I start adding in some blue, but not like totally like a bunch, and then I see how did that transform the color. Maybe it would help myself if I put a swatch of the original color up here first. So that's like the original black color, and this is the black with just a smidgen of blue added to it. So I'm gonna add some more blue. Can you see how lovely that color is? That's the kind of paint grayish that I probably would mix a lot of and use instead of the black. And that's not a Prussian, but in this set where I only got one blue, I would definitely call that for the Prussian blue that I can create with just these few colors. Now I've got like even more blue in it, and we're getting how can I describe it? We're getting something that now I'm gonna swatch the original blue so you can see the difference. Can you see how this is like a warm blue, and then we get something that's a light Prussian bluish tone? But it's a good visual indicator for me to see what I can get when I mix in the blue with the black. And then I just continue with other colors. Let's pick red. That's always a fun one to do with black. Believe it or not, but you can get something really beautiful when you mix red into black. Look at this. Can you see this? Almost like a Caput Mortuum brownish color. Let's put more red in it. Ooh, leaning towards like a maroon. Sorry. More red. Not enough red to change it. So I'm putting more red into it. And now I think I want to stop, because now I don't think that I'm changing it much. No, I'm not changing it much. But at least I got a good idea of what will happen when I mix the red with the black. So let's try continue with the black, and then this time we could take the yellow. What do I expect? I'm thinking that I would expect some sort of greenish tones, like olive green if I'm really lucky. And now the yellow is super weak. We learned that it was weak and also a little bit muddy, so my expectations are not super high. So I'm starting up with a lot of yellow into the black. I'm getting like a dark army greenish color. I put more. Yeah, I think that's as olive tone that it's gonna get. Yeah, I think that these 4 swatches will be enough for me to kind of know in what direction the mix of black and yellow will be in this little Prang set here. Let's finish off the test with the black, shall we? So, which color could be fun? How about the purple? Oh my god, I hope it's gonna create something really beautiful. Yeah, it looks like almost like a dioxazine. So going from this purple up here, you can get this dioxazine dark purple color by mixing it with black. Oh, look how beautiful that purple is compared to the one that's provided in this set. Isn't it amazing? Okay, now I'm gonna do something, because I feel that I'm just gonna getting towards that purple. I don't want to experiment, because that's the whole drill about this. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna mix in some red. So what I do for myself, my own notation, is that I take a red stripe, and then I start mixing red into this mix right here, because check this out. Oh, I knew it. Look how beautiful. Oh my god, what's not to love? Let's put more red into this. I'm getting excited. Dang it, I didn't realize that little Prang could make such a beautiful color. Okay, I'm just gonna continue like a freak with this mix here, because I tend to like these violet colors a bunch. Like, it's just nice to know that you can get them out of this tiny Prang set here. I'm gonna add more red and see what happens. So remember, this is still a mix of black, violet, and red. And now it's like it's stopping. You know, like the more red I add, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. So to make a mental note, I'm gonna end this off with the purple swatch. I'm just gonna dilute it a little bit so we can see what color it was. Purple. So that's kind of my system, where I start with the top color and then mix in another color, and I can see, because I swatch the color I mix with, I always swatch it in the bottom So it's easy for me to see that it's black with a little bit of red mixed in with the violet. So now I need to clean my palette. And what happens when I clean my palette is also that I mix those things together. Look, this is what I have in my palette right now. So what I like to do is to make just spontaneous mixes, you can call it, like this, and then back to the blue. Oh my god, look at that color right there. What was that? That was the blue with the black, which means that if you take blue into this mix here, let's try and add some blue into this. Okay, then I just twerked it back to purple. But still a lovely shading color. Okay, I need to clean off my palette. So I cleaned off my palette and freed up some more mixing spaces. The last color I need to play with is black together with the orange. So I'm gonna pick up some orange. Oh, you actually get a very likable brown. I think I like it more than I like the brown in this set right here. And now I want to, just for my own curiosity, remember when we swatched the brown to begin with? It was not moving at all, it just laid there. So now I want to see how this one, yeah, look. The is it like a ox skull or something from the orange or the black? Maybe just the orange now is mixed into this brown color. So to me it feels like it's a better mover than the brown that's in this palette. No, it wants to move still. That's odd. When I first swatched the brown, it was just lying there. But anyway, that's like, you know, you're just experimenting. By mixing in more of the orange, I can get some sort of like a substitute for a burnt sienna. This palette does not come with a burnt sienna, so that's nice to know. Okay, I need to get new rinsing water. Okay, so looks like most of my swatches up here are drying up. So I think I just want to go over some of the areas up here, put them in again, so I also get an idea of what I'm having in my pan set. And seriously, I'm doing this exactly how I would do it with any other watercolor pans that I just received. You know, sitting and playing with it, not in any orderly fashion. A lot of people takes out the black and the white when they received pre-mixed palette finished, you know, like when they don't squeeze out their own palette. I don't understand why they always ditch on the black, because why would you say no to all these mixes here? I think it's pretty difficult to get a Prussian out of such a light blue if you don't get help from the black. Because then you first to mix your own black out of the primaries. And in that way, your yellow and your red are just very easily getting used up. There is another traditional way of doing charts. Now that I talk about it, it's like these very thorough charts where you like really, with the help of the grid, get mixed everything you have in your palette. But it's a little bit cumbersome when you just want to have a quick view of what can you make. So what I do is that I very often start mixing with the black color first, because I think I get a very interesting result out of it. And then my next move would be how to get a green. As you can see, my set lacks a green, and of course the most obvious way would say like blue and yellow, and that is a sane way of getting a green. So if you take some blue and mix with a yellow, I like always to mix it in a tray first, because then I can put down the green in the middle, because sometimes when you're trying to do this mix on the paper, you get too much blue or too much yellow, and then suddenly it just becomes like one long blur. But here I can see what the blue and the yellow can give me, that light green, right? But we learned that if we take black with the blue, we get a darker blue. So imagine if we mix that Prussian with this yellow, could we get a darker green? I would be interested in that. So let's go back to this. Some black, some blue, and now the yellow. Because we also saw that yellow mixed with black gave some greenish tones, some olive greenish tones. So this color right here is one of the shades that you can get out of that mix. Now let's irritate it. Let's put a little bit more black into this. That was too much black, so we're going to add more blue. And this time not so much yellow. There's a slight difference. Let's add a little bit more black. Oh man, look. That black is just like so strong. I really need to be careful with the black. That's better than just having the ordinary green. So what I would do here is I would just simply make like a black square, a blue square, and then a yellow square. And then I will remember that those three colors give this different kind of green. I'm also thinking that what if I wanted to oversaturate this with yellow? I probably would try that if I know myself. it's just becoming a little bit lighter. So I'm thinking, what happens if we put in orange? I'm just going to put a little bit of orange into this. No, then it becomes a brown. But it was worth a try. A bit of blue. That's an odd color. It's not in the green tone. It's more like an umber. But I think it's still beautiful. One of the other colors that I usually would try and mix is a purple. So I would take some blue and mix with the red. That's nice. I'm gonna put a little bit more blue in it. And I get like a different kind of purple. Oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't even tell what I was doing. But what I do, you know, instead of mixing on the paper, is that I put a blue color there, the red there, mix it on my palette, and then swipe it up in between. So it's a visual that I can see that a deeper, a bigger concentration of the red give this kind of purple, a bigger concentration of the blue give this kind of purple. Yeah, I think I'm missing like an ochre. How would I get an ochre? I think I would say like yellow and maybe a little bit of orange in it. Maybe a little bit of the brown. That was too much. Maybe more yellow to that mix here. It would be a useful color for me. I think maybe it wasn't necessary to put in the orange. I only did it because I usually use orange to get to a warm ochre, but this brown here got some reddish warm tones in it, so the orange was not necessary, but I can just put it in, you know, just a little bit. And why would I need an ochre? Because if you take this ochre and add a little bit of red to it, you might get a skin tone. So this is a skin tone, and then when you water it out, I might be able to work with that. Let me put a little bit more yellow in that. I might be able to work with that as a skin tone. Because when I just have these colors, and if I had to make a painting, I would, of a person for instance, I would need to mix a skin tone. Now I'm just gonna do a little bit more red. Yeah, that would be my flesh tone. But that's a lot of mixes. I had like yellow, and then I had the red, and then I was working with the brown. And to be honest, that's it. If I want to work with the Prang palette, this sheet right here would help me so much. And I really think that I should try and use up these pans here so I can declutter, not by throwing out or giving away, but by using my stash. And I hope that I can do that and I don't ditch the project, because there's so little left, and I think that's why I don't grab for the palette, because there are a lot of colors that are not there, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know why I really like the Prang colors. They're like nice and vibrant and juicy and re-wettable, and they want to mix. As you can see, you can create colors with them. So time for me to refine the joy about this and then get it used up. If you watched this far, thank you very much. I know this was a very different one from me, but I just wanted to share because I had to do this sheet anyway. Bye bye.